Well, the Israeli government unveiled a huge trove of intelligence on Iran on Monday night. The Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu made the case that Iran lied when it negotiated a 2015 nuclear deal. Sounds right. The revelations appear to increase the chances that the Trump administration will repudiate the Iran deal, which the president, of course, ran against. That could put the U.S., though, on the path to yet another military venture in that region. Is that in our strategic interest? Colonel Doug Macgregor is a retired Army colonel. He's author of the book Margin of Victory, which is excellent, and he joins us tonight. Colonel, thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
So let's start with a simple question first. And I'm assuming that all of this intel is real, and I certainly never assume good faith on the part of Iran, obviously. Yeah. Is it in our strategic interest to have a conflict with Iran?
Well, I think the answer is pretty clearly no. There's no benefit to the United States from going to war with Iran. None.
Well, that's not the impression you get from listening to, for example, Nikki Haley. Many Republicans in the Congress, a lot of Democrats, seem to believe that it's essential that the United States goes to war with
Well, I think we have a case here of the proverbial tail wagging the dog. We have two smaller allies. One is Tel Aviv, the other is Riyadh. Both of them clearly would like to see Iran end up as a smoking ruin at some point. And whatever they can do to persuade us to abandon this joint comprehensive plan of action, they will do in the hopes that that then will clear away the obstacle to direct military confrontation.
But again, and by the way, let me just say, I understand why both of them would want that. I don't begrudge them that. I would want that, too, if I were them.
Yes.
But what effect would that have on the United States? That's my main interest as an American.
Well, first of all, if you go to war, you're in territory that is very hard to predict. In other words, Iran is not isolated. Iran is not alone. And we don't have China, for instance, telling the leader of North Korea, shut up and do business with the United States, which is effectively what happened with Xi. And that, by the way, is a brilliant achievement by the president. I hope he focuses on that and not this particular issue right now. But we don't have anything like that. And the Iranians and the Russians have drawn very closely together. The Chinese are in the background, but they're doing a land office business with Iran and oil and gas. The Europeans look at us and are dismayed because from their vantage point, it's not Iran, it's the Sunni Islamist Arabs and Turks, stupid. That's where you should be focused, and that's what you should worry about. Why wouldn't that be true
for us as well? I don't remember a lot of Shiite-inspired terror attacks on our soil, and I keep hearing that Iran, which I'm not in any way defending, and I wouldn't choose to live there, but I keep hearing they're the greatest threat to Americans, but it seems like all the terror attacks in this country are Sunni.
Absolutely. No, there's no question about that. And again, look, if you're interested in securing your country against that kind of thing, you defend your borders, you get control of immigration. We forget that 9/11 crew came here legally, became illegal, was never tracked, and was able to do what they did as
Were they agents of Iran?
No, of course not. They were agents of, well, they were Sunni Arab Islamists, largely from Saudi Arabia and North Africa.
Right. So why wouldn't we see that as the threat? Because consistently over time it has been. Why is everyone saying exactly the opposite of what's so clearly true?
Well, I think it's pretty clear that our two allies in Tel Aviv and Saudi Arabia are absolutely determined to halt what they consider to be the onward march of Iranian influence.
Right.
And that influence is confined right now largely, not exclusively, but largely to Syria and Iraq. We forget, of course, that we installed Iran in power in Iraq. We created the conditions conducive to that. That was not something Iran did. And when it comes to Syria, the Iranians have worked closely with the Russians and Assad to defeat the Sunni Islamist opposition to them. And they've been successful. That war is effectively over. So the bottom line is they want us to effectively reverse the strategic outcomes of the last, 15, 16 years. That's not possible, frankly, without a major war. And I don't think that President Trump is interested remotely under any circumstances in going to war. But the GC, or this Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, is the last obstacle on the road to war. Because that proves that we can achieve our strategic aims without going to war.
I just hope that we keep American interest foremost in mind, because that's the point of the U.S. government. Of course. Colonel, thanks for coming on.
Sure.
Appreciate that.